Hey, I'm Alex.
And I'm Sam.
And we're Magic Man, and you're watching Favorites on Live in Limbo.
One of my favorite moments with a fan happened just the other day when a group of fans came up to me and said, we created Build-A-Bears in your likeness. And they had these bears with like t-shirts like that looked like our shirts, and mine had like little like mini Sam Lee glasses, and then they also were scented of honey, which is the name of our song.
It's true. They smelled real sweet.
Yeah.
And it was a sweet gesture as well.
Cuddle with mine every night. It's like cuddling with myself. It's nice. It's really cuddly and reassuring. When they first told me that there were little miniature bear versions of ourselves, I didn't really know what to say.
I remember once when someone said that she made little keychains of us, and then all of a sudden she shipped a box to our house, and there were like dozens of each of us, of each of our bandmates, miniaturized with keychains, and then we used them as Christmas ornaments. And
Alex's tree was only keychain versions of himself.
Of course, I refuse to look at anyone
There was
else.
no other ornaments either, just keychain versions of himself around the entire tree.
But more than just gifts, we love the fans themselves.
What's your favorite song to perform live, Alex?
Recently been having a lot of fun playing a cover of Dancing in the Dark by Bruce Springsteen, a hero of ours. Always fun to mix it up and play a cover in the set, a song that's not your own, to sort of channel someone else's energy. I sort of like feel like I'm overtaken by the soul of Bruce in that moment. It's fun.
Whoa. I've been having a great time playing some of the new songs from our new record that we just finished making. So none of them are out yet. We've been playing one called Youngblood that's really fun, kind of upbeat, fun, sort of Breakfast Club dance vibes. And that one's been awesome. It's kind of fun to be able to share some new music before it's out with the fans.
And we can teach them to sing along in that one, so it's great to hear the fans singing along to a song they haven't even heard before, but they're
like your puppets.
There's always a strong connection when we play live with the songs because the fans have had time to learn the lyrics and like really get to know the song. So it's always like very much a sing-along vibe where everyone is singing the choruses together. And even if my voice is hurting or I'm not feeling so great, when I see the fans singing the lyrics and just like they're with me, it's just sort of, I feel like we're unstoppable.
The Griswolds are my favorite artist right now.
That's just because they're sound checking right now.
Yeah, the bass parts from the Griswolds that they're sound checking right now, it's my favorite artist right now, definitely.
For a while now, I've been really into this guy, Rye. Actually, it might be a duo. I'm not sure. But it's very sexy and very sensual, like chill. I'm striving to break out into that genre a little bit. Sexiness, trying to up myself, my public image. My sexiness from like PG
to PG-13.
PG-13. Maybe R someday.
No, I would go there, buddy. This is only album number 3.
Honestly, Taylor Swift, I love following her on Instagram. I love her rebranding. I love, like, the other day she just posted like 10 photos and it's like, this is the new me. And she like cut her hair short and bleached it and is looking like edgy and super fashion. And I'm like, you're the queen of the universe. You have so much power and so many followers and you do whatever you want and you always seem to be relevant. So she's an idol of ours. What were you going to say?
I don't know. This is a tough one. Besides my own Twitter account, of course. I don't know. I really, it's sort of like I feel like a lot of people know, but the Modern Seinfeld account is probably my favorite, like, actual Twitter account that is just sort of like a comedic Twitter account.
Yeah.
But a lot of our friends have great Twitter accounts, and we use Twitter a lot, and it's a great way to talk to the fans and everything like that. So, but I'm not as funny as Modern Seinfeld.
Yeah, I'm not
and never
very
will be.
funny on Twitter either.
Yeah,
Working on
Alex's account, not very funny.
Not very funny.
Great for pictures of Alex.
Great
though.
for selfies.
Great resource for pictures of Alex in case you're like, I want some selfies of Alex making like a face into the camera. Where should I go? Sam's Twitter account? Let's check. No, not so good. Alex's Twitter account. Great resource. I love seeing a show and seeing bands that you haven't heard, like maybe, whether it's an opener for a band you know, or if you just like sometimes when have days off or something, we try to go see shows or whatever. And so it's always fun to see bands live and kind of get a sense of what they sound like as a live band, then go hear the recordings. That's one way. I mean,
touring with them too. Then you get to hear them every night, and you get to like have new favorites, and really get to know the songs and like see how they sort of transform live. And once we have a lot of respect for the bandmates themselves, because they become our best buddies on tour. So it sort of elevates the music when you're like, and I love them as people, and I love the music. It's like
yeah, definitely,
1-2 punch.
The best part of touring is, I mean, it's probably like playing a show every night, playing for new fans, playing in new cities. That's kind of a cop out. The second best is probably being in a van for like 10 hours a day.
Not the best part.
No. I mean, obviously, like sometimes it's a lot of travel or like not a lot of days without showers or whatever, but it totally, being able to play a show every night and kind of travel to a new city, explore new places every day makes it totally worth it.
For me, touring is like the opportunity, like when you're off the road and you're just in the studio working on music, you're just sort of closed off from the world in your own little like world, not really being very social because you're just like staying up all night writing music. And then touring is the time you get to like, I'm like an extrovert at heart. I like feed off of other people's energy. So when I get to like perform every night and meet all the fans and like get that instant feedback, and they can say, you know, we can play the new songs and hear it and see them enjoying it, all of a sudden I feel like much more connected with the world than like a crazy person in my basement. When I'm stressed out, sometimes I need like a nice long shower and nice like hour of just like refocus, like do stretches, do a little yoga, do some like vocal warm-ups, and just sort of recenter and clear my mind of whatever has been stressing me or bugging me. Sam, what's your go-to de-stressor? Reddit?
No.
I guess it's not.
Reddit's probably more stressful than less stressful. There's so much there. So little time. I think one thing I've been doing recently more is reading. My parents gave me a Kindle for Christmas, which has totally changed the tour reading habits, because previously, like carrying around all these books on tour, not so practical. So I basically just wouldn't read anything. So reading, I went for a run yesterday on our off day, which was really nice. There was like a local college baseball game going on, so I watched that for a while. So yeah, local college baseball game is pretty much my number one de-stressor. No, but yeah, it's stuff like sometimes on tour, especially, it's, even though I love everyone we're on the road with, we're a family. Sometimes you just need to kind of like go do your own thing and like go for a walk or go for a run or whatever, you know.
On our journey to musical perfectionism, I'd say we learned a lot from the bands we've toured with, from the bands some of our first touring opportunities were opening for this band Walk the Moon, who just every night just put on the most amazing shows, and they were all like musically so talented, so tight. They didn't use any backing track. They were just creating all the music live on stage and still sounding so huge and full with just 4 people. And I think we were always sort of in awe watching them and striving to reach that sort of level of professionalism, both like on stage and off stage, just like super professional.
We just finished recording our next album in New York with a producer named Chris Zane, who'd worked on a bunch of our favorite records, and he had this sign hanging above his console that had 2 sides to it. One said, "Don't overthink it," and the other just had "subtle" with a big X through it.
Yeah.
So that was like one thing that sometimes you kind of have to remember when you're like deep in making a song and you're like tweaking like tiny little aspects of the track. Sometimes you have to think like, this is music. It's about feeling, not like the tiny little details that you sometimes can really get bogged down in. And at the end of the day, sometimes you just gotta really like hammer it home. Don't be too subtle. Like, don't worry about it too much. And that sometimes is really helpful when you're in the studio and you're writing, because you can really just get like, should this note be like this note, or should it be here on the grid or here, or like which snare drum sound is right? Everything is horrible. And actually, like, it just sounds great. You gotta chill out and relax.
Yeah. I think the most fun part of recording this album was that we had demos going into the process, but that we sort of built the songs back up again in the studio with Chris Zane, who was a drummer, and we sort of started on drums, and we're like, all right, let's just get like a good percussion groove going here as like the base of the song. And if the drums sound good enough and if the groove sounds good enough, then like if it's fun enough to listen to just the drums on their own, which it often was, because they like ended up sounding really big, and then once you're just layering on top, the song just felt like it was getting better and better with every piece that we added. And then once you add the bass, and watching the whole song come together and really flesh out was really exciting, even though we'd already like built it up once before by ourselves, just with like all the new equipment we had to use, and just at a higher standard of
There's definitely sort of
fidelity.
like a hard to pinpoint, but kind of like magical moment where the song turns from like a bunch of tracks that aren't finished into like a finished song. It sounds kind of cheesy, but whether it's in the mix or sometimes it's when you finally get that bass part recorded by like a great bass player, or the vocal take is sounding awesome, or whatever it is, there's a moment where things kind of like shift, and the song is like, it's no longer just like a collection of parts. It's like kind of starting to feel like a finished song. And that's my favorite moment.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens very early, like in your original demo, just like an iPhone recording of someone and an acoustic guitar. Sometimes you're like, I know this is going to work. And other times you work on it for weeks and weeks, and then you finally get it working, and that's awesome.
Played some memorable venues. I mean, festivals are often very memorable because you're just like on a big stage in front of thousands of people, and they end up being like really fun because you see a lot of bands that you've toured with before, so it feels like this sort of like reunion at the same time.
Yeah, we're playing a Hangout Festival at the end of this tour, and that's one we've done before, and it's just tons of fun right there on the beach, Gulf Shores, Alabama. Beautiful weather. Obviously, you can like stand on the beach or in the water watching music, so being able to play that one again, I'm really excited for that.
For sure.
We're playing Alex's sister's wedding at the
That
end
will be memorable.
At the end
That will
of
be-
the tour as well. So that's obviously we haven't done that yet, but
Yeah.
it's going to be memorable.
Oh, for sure. I'm very excited for that. One of our big moments as a band, I think, was playing Boston Calling, which was this festival in Boston. It's sort of a newer festival, but just being in downtown Boston and playing for not only thousands of people that were there. We didn't even know who was going to be there because we were the first band to play, but we ended up being this huge crowd and tons of friends and family in the crowd. It was like a very like hometown. Everyone seemed to be we were like the one Boston band playing that night, so there was like a lot of good collective like pride in that moment, I think.
Yeah, that was awesome. I think one thing that I'm really proud of more recently is just the record that we just finished. Obviously, I love our other music, Before the Waves and everything, but I feel like with each record and with each new song we've written, we've kind of evolved a little bit and developed more as a band. And this new album, I'm so proud of it. I feel like it's the best thing we've done yet, and I'm really excited to get it out in the world. I mean, obviously, we don't quite have like the release date or anything yet, but I'm just so eager. I mean, if it was up to me, I'd put it out tomorrow.
Yeah.
But that's not how it goes.
Unless we leak it.